All right, what's going on, guys? It's a good morning. Ready to get into the charts. It's a midweek update, basically just doing an update on the things that we went over on Monday. Uh, so let's just go ahead and get into it. So CADJPY, we talked about this. We talked about this in the first video. We are looking for this expanding triangle to come back up to the top. It looks like it's making its way up there. And now that it's on its way up there, I'm actually going to go ahead and set an alert here and look for an opportunity to enter for that sell once it gets to the area that I want it to be at. Yeah. Okay. And someone talked to me about this impulsive move here, and they were considering this a correction. I'm not considering this thing a correction for this impulsive move here because it hasn't formed a pattern. All right. So I want to see a pattern before saying, okay, that's a correction. I'm still looking for my buy. So here I clearly see an impulse, and here I clearly see a correction for that impulse, which is an expanding triangle, that pattern. All right. Let me see. $15. All right. So there's CADJPY, pretty simple. Let's go to a lower time frame and see what's happening there. Let's go ahead and delete that. All right. So sorry about that. I had to fix something. But so on lower time frame, we see prices moving pretty aggressively up to that area. I would like to see an ascending channel approach there, some type of reversal pattern form when it gets to that area, maybe a head and shoulders or double top, anything like that would be perfect. But regardless, gonna follow my plan. Look for that entry when we get to that area. Let's go ahead and go to something else real quick. All right, cool. All right, let's go to the next pair that we pay attention to. GJ. We're really trading off the daily now. We got an entry down here. I believe I still have that on here. There we go. All right, and we are up 600 pips. Looking for it to continue push up to the top of that channel. After pushing up to the top of that channel, we'll reevaluate. I'll probably do a full new markup and look for a new setup. Okay. Now at this point, SL is in profit right here, right below that low. And then after, if price decides to give us a small little push up, I will move my stop loss up to this area afterwards. Yeah. But right now, that is pretty much GJ. We can go to a lower time frame. I know we looked for an opportunity or talked about a smaller opportunity, potential opportunity that could have happened, and it looks like it never hit one of my alerts, so didn't activate. So we were looking for it to come down to this zone or decide to do a deep retracement and come down to this zone, but it didn't come down to either of those. It did form a small little pattern, probably went to the 38.2, and I'll first start it from here and then I'll go up. So there's a 38.2 there, and probably if we started here, maybe the 50. Yeah, it's about the 50. So there's that push up. Oh, let's go ahead and so for this, I wouldn't really be itching to get in. Obviously because I'm already in the trade, but also because like there's no, it didn't give us what we wanted, so why try to rush and act like you're gonna miss the opportunity? Just wait for your setup, because you know that plays off more often than randomly getting into a trade because you think you might miss it. So that's GJ. Let's go to the next one. UJ. Don't believe we really talked about UJ too much. Yeah, I don't believe we really talked about GJ or UJ too much on Monday. But let's go ahead and do it because this actually is a decent chart. Let's delete all that. So on the weekly, we got this nice little channel here. I have that supply zone up there because if price gets up to that area, I'm looking to sell. There is a potential area right around here. If we go to the lower time frame, I'll just make that, implement that new zone. And then we see prices have been respecting this area a few times. It may come lower, but we'll go ahead and put it there for now. And if you guys have any questions about what I'm doing, just go ahead and let me know, like in the chat, so I can explain a little bit better. Yeah, okay. I completely forgot about that. Okay, nice little potential downtrend right there. I want to see what's happening on the lower time frame, honestly. But you know what? We saw it. Let's just go ahead and draw it. Let me not skip any steps. Okay, here on the 4-hour time frame, we have a nice little rejection off of this zone. Nice impulsive move up there, and then we have this pattern forming here. And this is how I draw it, at least right now. That could change into a flat pattern as well. But nevertheless, we're at the bottom of the pattern. And let's go ahead and see if we have a kill zone here. Okay, and to avoid any issues that we had last time, if you have any pairs that you want me to go over, go ahead and type it in the chat right now, so I can make sure that I go over it before I end the call. Alright, it's a decent area. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's decent. It's worth taking a shot at it, I guess, I would say, because there are multiple touches. Alright, and then we can move it up to 38.2. We see on the 4-hour we actually have a JCP. If we definitely go down to the 15-minute, there's definitely going to be a few there. I'll see 3 inside up, 3 white soldiers, another 3 white soldiers, I see a morning star. Yeah, so we got some confirmations. It looks like price could potentially come back down in this area and give you another opportunity if you want to wait for that discounted price. And yeah, but yeah, so that's what I'll be looking at for now. Price could come lower because this does look like a corrective pattern or continuation pattern to the downside. But I would pay attention to price if it comes back down right to here. See what it's doing. See if it gives you one of those JCPs to reverse, or if it's gonna just keep impulsively pushing past it. In that case, you want to see if it's still forming that pattern, readjust the shape of your pattern and everything like that, and then just react accordingly. But that's GJ. I like this for a nice little buy. It's about 60 pips to the top. All right, USDJPY. If you saw my markup on USDJPY, now I'll actually give a detailed breakdown as to what that actually means. So mainly, I sent out the screenshot on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, basically we have a double bottom forming here in this demand zone. And demand zones are areas where I'm looking to buy at. Right, I don't really like to sell in these areas. I really just like to focus on buys. I don't care if I get stopped out a few times or if I miss a few good sell opportunities. I know long term, a majority of the time, the buy will eventually play out. But and this zone is based off of a level back in 2015. Looking for this entire thing to actually correct for me. Because if you look at past price, like if you're not familiar with how I look at the market, recently we've gotten this impulse. We see price has corrected. We've gotten the impulse. We see price did something crazy and then decided to correct and then push down. Now here we just have a very, very strong push, but we have no correction. Price has not corrected itself. It hasn't pulled back at all. And that's what I'm waiting for, and that's what I'm looking to buy. So any reversal pattern that I see, it's a good opportunity in my eyes. Okay, and on lower time frame, it's, let's say if I miss this double bottom entry, or I could set a buy limit, or yeah. But let's say we miss it, right? You can wait for the break of that trend line. That's why I've alerted on that trend line. Wait for a small correction. Look for that continuation up. Setting SL below the double bottom if it does form. That's pretty much USDJPY. Let's go to the lower time frame and see if there's anything to capitalize off of today other than these short little sales. Yeah, I mean pretty much today just look for a decently sized correction, look for that sell opportunity. Again, please type in the chat what pairs that you want to go over so I can go over them before I actually close out the call. All right, CHF. CADJPY. Okay, previously we had an uptrend. Price has broken that uptrend, gave us a pattern, broke that pattern, gave us our continuation. We see prices coming up for a retest after having a strong wick out. Where did it wick out at? Here in this area. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what I want to wow, that is okay. It did not wick out. That was my line. I was confused. All right, cool. That actually looks better. So we got price breaking here and looking for price to correct up to probably retest this area, basically the bottom of that pattern or near it, and then looking for it to push down to that demand zone. And that's pretty much it. Once it gets to that area, we're looking for a reversal and coming back up to that supply zone unless price shows us something else before it gets there. Ultimately, we'll move this down to here. Remember, this is the daily time frame, so we're going to be looking at patterns within patterns. Okay, and now we can see like this movement is not corrective. All right, so we don't really have a pattern here. We don't have a reversal pattern either. It's potential double top, but I don't actively trade those unless I'm in a supply or demand zone. I don't like to trade like head and shoulders, double tops, double bottoms unless I'm in one of those major zones. So what we can wait for a break of the trend line, then we can wait for our actual setup to actually happen. And that's what I would be waiting for on this if I was taking it. But CADCHF isn't actually on my list for this month. You can see price is broken that zone that we had yesterday or Monday. Yeah, wait for price to get up to here. We'll see how it reacts, and ideally, like, we want to wait for that trend line break, look for a correction. If price decides to correctly break this trend line, we're going to extend it, and we're still going to wait for that trend line break. Obviously, do not extend it into eternity. Make sure it makes sense. If it finally gives you an impulsive break, we can pretty much delete the trend line, wait for a correction, and then look to sell. But I believe that is all my markups besides GN. Finally, GN. We were looking for a buy. We actually bought down here, caught this little push up. But if we look at the 4 hour, on the 4 hour time frame, price formed a little ascending channel, and basically any ascending channel that I see, I close my trades. And price has been scaling down recently, but on the 1 hour time frame, it's really just been moving correctively. Hasn't really impulsively broken this trend line just yet, but it is going into a downtrend, or starting to go into a downtrend. So I like to see a little bit better movement before I completely disregard this uptrend and start going for that downtrend. And on the downtrend, what I'm looking for on the daily time frame, again, just like USDJPY, looking for this to correct. All right, I'm looking for a correction down to this zone. Once price gets to that zone, looking for my setup and looking to buy. I want to buy up to that supply zone, which is about 1,000 pips. We can tag those on there real quick, and that's about the 38.2 Fibonacci level. Okay, and real quick, I'll go over gold because a ton of people asked for gold last time. Fortunately, I hopped off the call, but okay. Actually, need to see what I actually put for gold when I sent it out. Yeah, because I do believe I sent it out in the group chat. Yeah. Yep. And that was on the 15-minute time frame. I was looking at I said wait for a break, wait for a correction, and then look for that continuation. So as soon as I get this chart looking not ugly, we can actually make sense of it. There you go. Okay, obviously price decided to go up. It didn't give us that impulsive break to the downside. If you thought this was an impulsive break, let me move the trend line back to where I originally had it. Let's come here. Okay, if you thought this was an impulsive break, like I have drawn, always wait for that correction. Okay, so it never gave us a correction. If we play the candles, price just came straight back up impulsively, came back in that zone, and then decided to break that other area that we were talking about. Now, originally, like, the first setup was obviously a sell. If you caught that sell, you caught a nice little 85 pips. And forgive me if I'm reading it wrong. I haven't looked at gold in a long time. Okay, and then we got this impulsive break to the upside, and then we got a correction afterwards. So that was our opportunity to enter for that buy. We entered for that buy, said looked for it to go up to here. Let's see where it actually went. And let's actually put this here. Let's say we entered there, we put our SL below that low. And we went for there. That doesn't make any sense. So we'll base it off of Fibonacci's and go for about a 50. I always want at least a 2 to 1, because I think anything less is worthless. Yeah, so price actually ended up hitting TP if you actually took that opportunity, and it actually even went beyond there. Yeah, so the reason I didn't want to go beyond that, because this is an ascending triangle, and I don't particularly trade ascending triangles. I just treat them as channels and I react within them. I always like to wait for the break of those before actually looking for a solid setup for maybe a move that will last several days, like my usual setup. But ultimately that hit TP, so that was good if you were trading that. And that's pretty much it. Let me check the chat one more time. All right, cool. So one last time, if you have any pairs that you want me to go over, please type in the chat now so I can go over them. I'll wait a few minutes for responses. Also, if you have any questions, go ahead and type that in the chat as well. All right, so it's looking like we're all good. I truly appreciate you guys actually hopping on the call and being willing to learn. So I hope you guys take advantage of these moves, these opportunities that I've shown today. I will go ahead and update and section this video so that you guys can recall or go back over those specific pairs that you want to pay attention to, or that are on your list. If you want to join the Discord channel, the link is in the description. Also, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe so you can keep up with the live videos I send out on a weekly basis. I'll catch you guys later.